Hello, it's a pleasure to have you here. What happens when two of Nigeria's most influential opposition figures begin moving towards the same political destination? Could this be the alliance capable of reshaping the 2027 presidential race and giving the ruling APC its toughest challenge yet? Or is Nigeria once again witnessing the early excitement of a political coalition that may struggle to survive the realities of ambition, power, and competing interests? These questions are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore as reports continue to emerge about growing political cooperation between former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and former Kano State Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Across the country, political observers, party loyalists, and ordinary Nigerians are watching closely as the possibility of a major opposition alliance begins to dominate national conversations. The significance of such partnership goes far beyond the personalities involved. It touches the very heart of Nigeria's opposition politics. For years, one of the greatest advantages enjoyed by the ruling party has been the inability of opposition leaders to unite behind a common objective. During the 2023 presidential election, opposition votes were spread across several candidates, each commanding substantial support in different parts of the country. While millions of Nigerians desired political change, that desire was divided among multiple platforms, creating an environment that ultimately benefited the APC. As the next election approaches, many opposition supporters believe repeating the same formula could lead to the same outcome. The argument being made is simple. If opposition leaders remain divided, the ruling party may continue to enjoy an advantage at the ballot box. Peter Obi remains one of the most popular political figures in Nigeria. Since the 2023 election, his support base has continued to demonstrate unremarkable loyalty and resilience. The obedience movement remains active across social media platforms, political gatherings, and community engagements. To many supporters, Obi represents a different style of leadership focused on accountability, fiscal discipline, and governance reform. His message continues to resonate strongly with young Nigerians, professionals, entrepreneurs, and citizens frustrated by rising economic hardship, insecurity, unemployment, and declining living standards. Despite not holding public office, his political influence remains significant and continues to shape national discussions. Many of his supporters believe that he remains one of the strongest opposition figures, capable of attracting nationwide support. Kwankwaso brings a different but equally powerful asset to the table. His political structure, particularly in northern Nigeria, has been tested through years of electoral contest and grassroots mobilization. The Kwankwaso movement has evolved into one of the most recognizable political brands in the country, commanding loyalty from large numbers of supporters. In Kano State and several surrounding areas, Kwankwaso's influence remains formidable. His ability to mobilize voters, organize political networks, and maintain a dedicated support base gives him considerable leverage in any discussion about future alliance. This combination of grassroots strength and regional influence makes him a critical player in Nigeria's political equation, and one whose support could prove decisive in any national contest. When many people look at the possibility of Obi-Kwankwaso alliance, they immediately see numbers, geography, and momentum. Obi brings considerable support from the southeast and substantial appeal in urban centers across the country. Kwankwaso brings strong northern networks and an established political machine. Together, They could potentially create a coalition capable of attracting support from diverse regions and demographics. Supporters of the proposed alliance argue that this combination could produce a more competitive electoral environment and provide voters with a strong alternative to the ruling party. It is this possibility that has generated excitement among opposition supporters and concern among political rivals who understand the potential impact of a united front. Yet, politics is rarely governed by popularity alone. Building an alliance is one challenge. Sustaining it is another. Questions immediately arise regarding leadership, candidate selection, policy priorities, and power sharing. Who becomes the presidential candidate if such an alliance materializes? Who accepts the vice presidential position? Who will supporters react if their preferred leaders is asked to step aside in the interest of unity? These are not minor issues. They are often the very issues that have caused political coalitions to collapse in the past. History shows that many alliances begin with optimism, but struggle when difficult decisions about power and influence must be made. The challenge is not merely bringing leaders together, but keeping them together until election day. The ruling APC is also unlikely to remain passive while opposition forces attempt to reorganize. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu supporters maintain that elections are won through strong political structures, effective organization, and public confidence in leadership. They argue that alliance alone do not guarantee electoral success. According to many within the ruling party, any opposition coalition must still convince Nigerians that it possesses practical solutions to the country's most pressing challenges: security concerns, inflation, unemployment, infrastructure deficit, and governance issues remain central concerns for millions of citizens. Political promises may attract attention, but voters ultimately want results and credible plans that can improve their lives. Another important factor is the growing complexity of Nigeria's political environment. New parties continue to emerge, political loyalties continue to shift, and alliances are constantly evolving. Several prominent politicians are already repositioning themselves ahead of the 2027 election cycle. This means that any potential Kwankwaso alliance will not exist in isolation. It will operate within a rapidly changing political landscape where negotiations, realignment, and unexpected developments could significantly alter the balance of power. In such an environment, coordination, discipline, and unity become just as important as popularity, as coalition that fails to maintain internal harmony could quickly lose momentum. What makes the current discussions particularly significant is the recognition that many Nigerians appear increasingly interested in political cooperation rather than endless fragmentation. Across different regions, there is growing frustration with opposition leaders who often spend more time competing against one another than presenting a united challenge to the ruling establishment. For many citizens, the prospect of a broad coalition represents an opportunity to create a more competitive democratic process. Whether that hope becomes reality remains uncertain, but the conversation itself reflects changing expectations among the electorate. Many voters are asking whether the opposition has finally learned the lessons of previous elections. One thing is becoming increasingly clear: the road to 2027 will not resemble previous election cycles. Political alliance, coalition building, and partnerships are likely to play a major role in determining the outcome of the next presidential contest. If Peter Obi and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso eventually decide to combine their political strengths under a common platform, the implications could be far-reaching. The ruling party would face a more organized opposition. Voters will be presented with a different political equation, and the battle for Aso Rock could become one of the most fiercely contested elections in Nigerian democratic history. The negotiation may still be unfolding behind closed doors, but the message is already resonating across the country. The race for 2027 has begun, and every political move from this point forward could shape the future of Nigeria. That's all for now on News Express. And if you find this insightful, kindly like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm Chidera Esum. Thank you for watching. Do have a beautiful day.